Hello there. I want to tell you a story about a very hard time in my life. It was a time that taught me a very big lesson about the power of truth, the need for patience, and why it is so important to stay calm when things get scary. I remember the day of our big meeting so clearly. My wife walked into the room where we were going to talk about our divorce, and she had a huge, bright smile on her face. She looked like someone who had already won a big game before the players even stepped onto the field. She walked right up to me, looked me straight in the eye, and told me some very difficult news. She said she was going to take the house we lived in, all the money we had saved for our future, and almost every single thing I had worked so hard for over many years. Her boss was there too. He is a very wealthy and powerful man, and he stood right behind her. He had a look on his face that showed he was very sure of himself. I did not say a single word back to either of them. I just sat there and stayed quiet. Right then, my lawyer, who is a very kind man, leaned over and asked me a very simple question. He whispered, "Did you do exactly what I told you to do?" I looked at him and whispered back, "Yes, I did." He gave me a tiny, supportive smile and told me that the real meeting was just about to start. What my wife found out next changed everything in a way she never saw coming. I never could have imagined that the person I promised to love forever would one day be the person sitting across from me in a legal office, trying to take away everything I owned. For a very long time, I truly believed our marriage was built on a foundation of trusting each other. I worked very long hours at my job to make sure we had everything we needed to be happy. I made sure the house was paid for every month, and I was the one who took care of all our regular bills and expenses. Whenever her own job got too hard or she felt very stressed, I was always right there to hold her hand and help her feel better. I really thought we were a team building a beautiful future together. But then I found some private messages that broke my heart. I found out that my wife had been secretly seeing her rich boss behind my back. When I first tried to talk to her about it in private, she did not feel bad at all. She did not even say she was sorry for hurting me. Instead, she just told me that our marriage was already over and that I should get myself ready for a big fight. A few weeks after that, she officially asked the court for a divorce. She showed up at our first big meeting with her boss, standing right next to her like a shield. He looked very confident because he believed that having a lot of money could fix every problem in the world. My wife looked at me and said that she was going to take the house, all our savings, and everything else she felt she deserved to have. I said nothing at all. She probably thought my silence meant that I was scared of her and her rich boss. But it was not fear that kept me quiet. My lawyer had already given me some very important pieces of advice. He told me never to make any claims or say things that I could not prove with real facts. He told me to never try to hide money or move it to secret places. He told me to never delete any messages or emails from my computer or phone. He warned me never to say mean things or threaten her or anyone else. He told me to keep every single paper and record related to our money and just let the evidence do the talking for me. So I did exactly what he said. I gathered every single bank paper, every house document, all our tax records, and information about our investments. I saved every email and every message we ever sent. I put everything in a very organized way and gave it all to my lawyer. Sharing all of this money information is a very big an important part of getting a divorce in many places. This is because the people in charge, like judges in a court, need to see the real and accurate numbers about what people earn, what they own, what they owe, and what they spend before they can decide how to split things fairly. Courts can also give people big trouble or punishments when someone hides this money information or tries to keep it secret. It is like a big game of show and tell where you have to be completely honest. Then something happened that no one expected. My wife demanded that I show her every single thing I had done and every penny I had in my pockets. But when her own lawyer was asked to show her money records, there were suddenly lots of delays. Then more and more delays happened. Some bank accounts were missing from the list she gave us. Some money moves from one place to another needed to be explained, but she had no answers. Some of the things she was spending money on did not match the kind of life she told the court she was living. Her rich boss suddenly became very, very quiet. My lawyer looked through all the papers and found something even more important than we expected. He saw that money had been moved from an account that belonged to our marriage into a completely different account right before the divorce started getting serious. We did not shout or try to embarrass anyone in front of people. We simply asked to see the records for those hidden accounts. That was the exact moment the big, confident smile finally left my wife's face. Her lawyer asked the court for more time to figure things out. My lawyer calmly said that was fine with us. He knew that the papers would eventually have to tell the truth on their own. At the next meeting, my wife came in thinking I would feel defeated and sad. Instead, she found out that the court was not interested in stories or big feelings. They were focused on money records, who really own things, and real evidence that follows the rules. In some areas, things a couple buys while they're married are treated differently than things they own before they ever met. Courts look very closely at all the money details before they make a choice on how to divide the property fairly. For example, in a place like New York, the courts make a clear choice between what is called marital property and what is called separate property. They require everyone to show all their money information, including what they earn and what they owe, while the divorce is happening. My wife had believed that because her boss had so much money, she had all the power in the room. But she learned that money cannot rub out what is written on a legal document. Money cannot change the dates on a bank statement. Money cannot make missing papers just disappear forever. And money cannot change what the facts actually show everyone. The divorce did not turn into a big, dramatic one like you might see in a movie where the hero suddenly takes everything away from the person who was mean. Real life and real courts do not really work that way. Instead, the truth was much more detailed and complicated than a simple story. All the property and all the money had to be looked at very carefully by experts. Every claim had to be backed up by real proof. Every record had to have a clear reason. And the woman who had walked into that courtroom thinking she was going to take everything suddenly saw that she had missed the one thing she could not control. She could not control the evidence. When the final decisions were being made, my wife looked at me from across the room. For the first time in a very long time, she did not look angry or mean. She looked scared. She finally understood that I had never been planning to get back at her or hurt her. I had just been protecting myself and being honest. I did not need to ruin her life. I did not need to make her feel ashamed in front of everyone. I did not need to shout or get angry. I simply stopped keeping the truth a secret. Sometimes, the strongest way to handle a hard situation is not to try to get revenge at all. It is about staying very calm while the simple facts finally speak for themselves. This taught me that being honest and prepared is much stronger than being loud or mean. It is about taking care of your own future by letting the truth be your shield.